you. Well, from her hometown of New Orleans to Capitol Hill, the whole country is remembering Cokie Roberts tonight.
The well-known political journalist and commentator died today from what her family said were complications of breast cancer. She was 75. Now, Roberts wasn't elected like her famous parents, Representatives Hale and Lindy Boggs, but she covered politics for more than 40 years for NPR, ABC, and CBS News. She also authored several books and returned home to New Orleans, often to speak and lecture. Her passing is the subject of tonight's commentary from Eyewitness News political analyst Clancy.
Like her late mother, Congresswoman and Ambassador Lindy Boggs, political journalist Cokie Roberts was a trailblazer. Lindy forever changed women's power and influence in Congress. Cokie was a role model for political journalists at a time when men dominated the field. She covered many of the politicians that Lindy and Hale Boggs worked with, but Cokie always maintained her objectivity and sense of fairness. Like her parents, she fearlessly championed the notion that people can disagree politically without being disagreeable. In this age of smash-mouth politics, Cokie Roberts was a beacon of civility. She understood that relationships matter more than differences. With Cokie Roberts passing, America has lost a voice of reason just when we need it more than ever.